Hi there. Today's society is a wonder, isn't it? Contact anyone or be contacted anywhere via the phones in our pockets. Food in an easy-to-eat or heat packet. Travel to almost anywhere via cars, planes or trains. Fridges to store food and microwaves to cook or defrost it in record time. Home heating piped to every room and hot showers whenever you want, on demand. Computers will work out or store important information. Or if relaxing, you have access to games, everywhere from simple point and click to immersive virtual reality. And speaking of relaxing, what about TV? Entertainment at your fingertips. And you can be told the latest current events or how you should think, and you can catch it all for free by watching incessant ads or pay for it and sit through fewer ads, much like the internet's becoming now. It's almost like you don't have to think anymore. You don't have to invent a better trap to catch your food. You don't have to use your imagination to entertain your friends and family with stories, jokes, or invent games to engage them by throwing a few rope rings or horseshoes over a stick some distance away to improve your hand and eye coordination disguised as fun and friendly competition. There's TV and books containing anecdotes and a fortune of fake coins to be swiped on a screen with no effort for entertainment. You no longer have to cook all your court meat at once because of refrigeration, so there's no inviting neighbours over to get to know them or catch up with the community in a street party while they help you eat the half a cow before it goes off. Besides, you can buy it all in handy portions for your family alone now. Why have animals or grow food at all? We don't have to rely on bartering lamb for salmon or jam for honey at a local meeting place where we could get the freshest food. Now we can buy it all pre-packaged at the nearest corporate outlet building, and we don't even have to talk or look at anyone except to fire a generic answer to one or two questions at the checkout, where we may be asked the equally generic, "Hi, how are you today?" No, we've traded our small local world and no longer have to get up early at cockcrow to milk cows or tend crops. We can sleep in a little more to enable us to go to work for others, and so we can use our brains for intelligent ideals. We can learn a new computer language or operating system, which will be obsolete in a few years. Or we can learn to drive a forklift that can move very heavy objects from one area to another, as long as it's on a flat surface. Or we could stand at a conveyor belt for hours checking to see if chocolate bars are up to scratch or sifting through recycling to ensure the correct items make it to the machines. If the jobs become obsolete or we grow tired and change jobs, we could learn new tasks that could become equally obsolete at a moment's notice. Perhaps we could talk to people who have questions about the corporation we work for on the phone, because things have not gone smoothly enough for the automated answering machine to make things right. Perhaps we will speak again when we ring their corporation with a similar gripe. We are programmed like sport to automatically protect our own corporation or team when it's questioned, and I have to wonder if the real cause of Alzheimer's today is born from an overload of useless information in our youth. The mountains of needless left brain information which has just about filled that hemisphere and blocked our capacity, where once we might have committed to memory the seasons, tended animals, and learnt valuable life lessons from friends and family. Our other hemisphere might have been free to learn a hobby or ponder the possibilities of life. Today we no longer feel the joy of watching new life come into the world unless it's as a bystander at our own child's birth. Eggs hatch and lambs seemingly appear overnight without our surprise and wonderment, because we're no longer a part of it. Watching young animals chase each other up and down a field, jumping over each other, is a rare delight in spring we no longer have time to witness. But, to our advantage, we also no longer have the despair of our lost crops, or the humble feeling of accepting the love and support from our community because of it. If we were part of that, we might perhaps learn the true meaning of giving, no matter the time of year. With moral support and food shared or given, and later if a fellow was equally in need, our own stores might be offered, which may leave us wanting, but it might also be a favour returned should times get equally rough for us once again. All this instead of the manufactured purchase of the latest corporate toy, chocolate, hot cross bun, or plastic invention at the appropriately designated date so they can ensure enough supply for demand with no hardship on their part. We no longer share the grief of an animal nudging at their stillborn offspring, wondering if we could have done or invented anything at all to have changed the outcome and improved the odds. In fact, within our family or community, we will probably not have our feelings stirred by loss and grief at a close loved one dying, or an overwhelming feeling of love with a new life coming into the world, as these things get hidden more and more by people wearing white coats limiting who can come into the birth area, or later, people in blazers showing us the latest caskets. We live in a world forcing fake emotions on us because ours are greatly reduced by the sanitized reality we're allowed to see. The true miracles of exuberant happiness and crushing sadness from the beginning to the end that would otherwise color our lives have instead been substituted for the latest song, or maybe a screen of people we don't know living a scripted set of circumstances to a musical score that can be filmed in such a way as to make our real life experiences seem more dull in comparison. It's no wonder the world is filling up with the emotionless sociopaths and dysfunctional. Now they're applauded in politics, film and TV. Society's great loss is true emotion, sucked from us every day, removed from our young families in school and by TV when parents have to work. The insidious substitution of natural feelings brought on spontaneously by living real life instead of artificially stimulated by the system. It is withdrawn by well thought out and repeated monotony of news programs or corporate speak, the courts, the automated phone messages. Without our strong emotional bond, how are we to care when others go hungry, homeless or lose loved ones? Is it any wonder more elderly family members are placed in aged care because the strong feelings for caring for them at home are countered by emotional corporate advertising telling us they will be doted on 24 hours a day while we're at work earning the money to pay for it? As families become more and more divided from not seeing each other due to this manufactured society, the bonds are either lessened or removed, to the point we may find ourselves barely speaking to our own family after eating in front of a TV for so many years, let alone getting to know neighbours less than 100 metres from us. While our emotions are skillfully and slowly peeled away, the idea that everything will eventually be automated is becoming a reality. Once a way is found to make a machine even half as versatile as the human body and mind is, we will have, ironically, created the end of our very usefulness. We will have played our part in allowing and sustaining a path to our own obsolescence. I am still disturbed by the video of the dog built by Boston Dynamics, the whispers of how close true artificial intelligence is, and the continual prodding towards accepting a few modifications for ourselves. For all we believe we are living our own lives, we are owned just the same as we have been for generations. Consider how far we've really come from the Colosseums. The corporations, of course, are a form of Colosseum, where we're figuratively made to fight for our masters to earn a few shekels just to stay in the game and pay the bills. We can stay in the lower levels, or climb the ranks of fighters to get more rewards, but we will be lucky indeed to be able to get so high that we could earn our true freedom. The masters will want to keep us more and more as we earn more for them, so they extract more from us to keep us in the system. They remove more tithes or taxes. They offer for us to pay more for expensive quarters or clothes. They'll make you feel like you are your own person as you're paraded around as a great asset. But make no mistake, if you step too far out of line, you'll be made to lose your income and privilege in a moment. We have not advanced as slaves much over the last 2,000 years, have we? We may have moved away from the master's courtyard, or maybe their courtyard has grown as big as the country and we never really left. We have been allowed to buy items to adorn our rooms or entertain us when at rest between the battles, but we still pay for and build the society that they own, and we merely exist in it at their pleasure. Here we are made to believe that more is better and clothes maketh the man, when if we could resist the constant false temptations, our meagre tokens allowed for ourselves, when saved instead of spent, may eventually get us off grid, or allow us to work part-time instead of full-time, Or maybe get an old RV you can live in on a friend's land to ensure a frugal life where you may be able to spend some time growing vegetables, observing nature, or experiencing life a little as it's meant to be. It seems we have lost our way from using technology to help us grow better food more efficiently and allowing us more time with our fellow humans and nature, to being governed by those inventions. We have gone from the convenience we might have claimed back time with and loosen the shackles like washing machines and printers to devices that tie us more to the system like wake-up alarms, mobile phones and TV. I know of course that inventions are a double-edged sword, but with every advance in technology to the masses that could help free us, there seems to be a corresponding loss of purchasing power or increase in taxes or oppression in the form of new legislation that removes the advantage the average worker could have gained. The masters seem unaffected as they can circumnavigate the legislation or pay the license fee to use it how they wish. They have all the advantages of the tech without working any harder as they are not in the system. The irony of those in the system creating products that make life easier for the masters alone is not lost on me. There truly is a battle for good and evil, order and chaos, animal and artificial. I don't believe this is the first time it's been waged, and it seems it will be played out at least once more. Meanwhile, we are left with the stale bread and meagre circuses. It's no wonder many believe it may be more entertaining to just turn away and clap along with the tune of the modern day fiddlers. The thing that confuses me though are why they continue to focus on their own race, pronoun or orientation rather than see the obvious tsunami-sized inferno as a backdrop to their capering. Perhaps they would rather distract themselves and others from the coming blaze, or maybe they're afraid the only thing remembered of them will be the brief shadow they cast before those that listen to consume themselves. One thing is for sure though, Rome is burning, and we all would be better off to practice self-preservation and rising in a common cause to ensure we're not forced into such a position again.